Hey there YouTube, Ice9 with another Madden mobile video, and in this video I was going to do the pack opening for Camp Chancellor, but I got a phone call, of course, right in the middle of the video, and so now I have to re-record it, and you miss all the excitement of me opening up the player, which I hope all of you guys are working on this set. You could do it a little bit at a time. That's the great thing about this set. I went after the set. It took me a good solid 2 weeks of work to get it done, and I'll show how I did everything. I've already shown a little bit in terms of how I went after the trophies and how I basically did that without using the work of getting gold players for 15 to maybe 1900 coins and putting them in the 10 trophy set, and selling golds and higher, putting the silvers and bronzes in the set to complete it, and just keep doing it. And using that method, I was able to stay even in coins, which was very important, because the players are the big cost of the set. So I will show a little bit about how I was going about getting these players, and still got the search criterias right here from the last video when I tried to record it. So basically you want to put and select all the teams in here when you're searching for players, because there's a lot of players that aren't on any team and therefore you can't use them in the set. You could just resell them. That's pretty easy, but it's still kind of a bummer. So you want to put them in there. And then for silver players, as an example, this is not a good time to do this. It is during the day. It is in the morning, which means that a lot of people aren't opening up packs, but plenty of people are on the auction house, and it makes it difficult to try to get some of these players. But let's just kind of see what the auction house is doing here. Network is very slow today, and we can see we've got a fair number. Actually, this is interesting. So right here, this would be one that you'd bid on and see if you could take it down. Let's see what players are kind of going for now. Yeah, see, so there's a lack of activity right now at the auction house. Kids at school, people at work. This is my day off, so this would be a good time for me to get in and try to get some of these players. 600 for a silver player is not bad at all. And so you could go through, get players that way, but with silver players, because they are more in demand, it is a matter of timing. Look at all these things, just no bids. I should have bid on all of them actually and resold them for a profit, but try to get through the video. So you basically do that. Usually though, during prime time, this is difficult. This is very difficult practice because people are bidding. Some people are bidding stupid, 700-800 coins or more. And a few tactics that I would use though on silver players is usually I was doing silver players late at night. That's how I'd usually do it. And as an example, I gotta see if I could get some of these guys. For crying out loud. $3.99 minimum coins. Let's see how I do here. Oop, bid right over that guy. Sorry, buddy. Let's see if I get any of these guys. Now I'm going to go to my bids and just try to defend this. So I got one right there, $3.99. Wow. Just not a lot of action. This guy wants this guy. Alright, Dodd, you can have him. So look at this. So I got all those guys. Otherwise, nobody would have bid on those players. So that's fantastic. So you could go back and, this is actually not a viable way to make coins right now. Just getting silver players cheap. It seems to me, depending on what team they are, you could usually get an 8 to 900 coin buy it now pretty easily, and even 1,000 at some points, because the set is really the Silver Master Trophy set. It is a grind. It is a definite grind of a set. And some people, and I did this myself, I will admit this morning, that I got kind of close. I had kept the whole project. You really got to term it that way. You know, it's a project. It's an adventure. It's crazy. You know, this whole thing to unlock Camp Chancellor. But you know, I had kept under budget for the vast majority of things. So at that point, I was going through and buy it now, and I just completed the last few sets for between 800 and 1,000 coins per silver player. So, but this is a good way to get silvers, obviously. And let's see if people are on it now. The behavior of the auction house. So, yep, people are on it now. I caught them slipping there a little bit with those few players, which is kind of cool. Let's see if I could catch one more slip, and I doubt it, but I'll try. We'll just see how that goes through the course of the video. Here's a few dreamers hoping that they'll be able to get somebody at 100 coins. This works late at night. So late at night, what I found is that, you know, as there's less and less players on the auction house from people opening packs and selling them, what you could do, and this is a good strategy, is usually there's only a few guys really duking it out over these silver players. Yep, I got outbid. Predictable. So we're going to go back, and there's a lot of players now at the auction house. And we're going to wait till it goes green, which is the 10-minute mark, and we'll see a bunch of auctions. Now there's some that are doing this time. They've bid and they're sitting. What I found though, and you notice he's bidding on the 500s and 505, trying to get people to not find it. Well, that's his Shine Nasty. This guy's been at it a while. I don't know if he's working on the set or if he is just trying to make money off of silver players, but I assume he's doing the set at 505, and he's just trying to get in, and this is the guy trying to get a player. So at 505, people's going with a starting bid of 500 coins or etc. aren't going to pick it up. But you just go back to that 10-minute mark, okay, and you just start bidding. All right, we're going to try to find a place here where there's a bunch of auctions where, yeah, I'm not going to go, I'll go back to 10 minutes. All right, so there are a bunch of auctions where people have put in no bid as of yet. And then we're going to put in a minimum bid. And we're going to keep doing this all the way down the line. Hopefully we've got a bunch of them in a row we could do. We could do a bunch of them until we start getting outbid. And once you start getting outbid, then you go back to your bid screen. Network is really slow today. Yeah, I did pretty good at 500 coins. Good time to be shopping silvers at the auction house. And then we're going to go back. We're going to refresh, and we're going to start defending our bids, basically, and just start doing it that way. A few tactics to do. If you've got somebody on there with you, you have to have an idea in your head what's the maximum amount that you want to spend on that given item. If there's a lot of competition, a lot of times on a silver player, I would do 700 coins. I'm still saving it over a buy it now. I'm getting the player which I need to do the set. You know, you need 2,400 silver players to do the Camp Chancellor set. So in order to do that, you got to come at it kind of strong. So at 700 coins, you know, if the guy's constantly taking you to the limit, instead of going up 100 coin increments, he bids 700. Now you have to bid 800, which is really too much, and you lose the bid. So you could try driving him away by bidding 700 coins yourself, just upping the ante to 700 coins and keep doing that, and either force him to spend more than maybe he really wants to, and maybe drive him off so you can have an easier time at it at the auction house. That's one method. The other method that goes along with this, though, and why to go back 10 minutes instead of staying in the very current auctions and just bidding on every single player, is because you will, depending on how many people are on, as you just saw with me getting those 4 players that were not bidded on, I got them at minimum bid, is you will catch people fighting you for another bid, and in the meantime, you're winning your other bids on that. So I got a lot of players that way. Now I did not do this for bronzes. So what I did for bronzes is I would go 200 coins, and with my Edge phone here, oh, it's 11 o'clock, so it's right on the hour. Let's see how we do here. And looks like, oh, let's see if we got him. We did. So we got a player using this method, and you just go through. My network is really slow today. I don't know what's going on. It'd really be frustrating if I was actually trying to do this for real. But you can see you could go down here, and you just get bronzes that way, and you just do this and you do this and you do this until you have a bunch of bronze players. And you could do this at work is ideally what I was doing. It's every 5 minutes. If I just happen to catch it, if I'm not doing something else at work, you just go through and get a bunch of players. And I think the record that I counted doing this is I got 35 bronze players in one run at 200 coins or less, which is pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good number of players to get. And, that's a good price for them too. It's not bad at all. So using that and just grinding that, that's how I got most of the players. But what you find though with this set, for anybody who's doing it, you're going to run into this. But some players, some teams don't have a lot of players in the bronze or the silver. The 49ers do not have many bronze players. So that means supply and demand, they're expensive to get. And what I found is that I took the 49ers, actually I think I'm wrong, I think it was the silvers maybe. No, maybe it was the bronzes, but definitely one team that was tough, I think it was bronzes with the 49ers. It's been a little while. And the Patriots, definitely, they're bronze players. There's not many of them. They're a pain. They're an absolute pain to get these guys. So, best way to do it, I found, was I put in these guys, and I believe the 49ers, bronze players. I would focus it down, 300 coins, buy it now. And I worked on these guys for a day. And that's, it essentially took the better part of a day. I was at work, so I wasn't hammering it every 5 minutes, but it took the better part of that to get those 150 bronze players for these two teams. And there are problem areas like that. The Seahawks, which was the last team that I unlocked, the silver players, I found after doing silvers and silvers of all teams, I ended up at the end of the day with 75 silver players on some teams and 16 silver players with the Seahawks. So I really had to spend yesterday working on these guys. Not the whole day, obviously, but part of the day just working on these guys and trying to get as many as I could for pretty cheap. And just, count on people who are selling Seahawks silver players just as a regular silver player, not realizing the market on that particular team. And for anybody right now, I would say a couple of things because of this set and things that I've noticed in the auction house, even though I'm not usually shopping silver and bronze players. But right now, these sets, this set right here, and this set right here should not be done at all. You don't want to do these sets. The 6 trophies that you get out of this, usually there's no elites, there's no gold. You want to sell these players right now, and you might even want to take the time to research the actual, like I got a silver Seahawks player right here, and you'll want to take the time to research and see what they're really going for, because this guy, at the right time, you could get 1,500 coins for him. So definitely pay attention to that, and don't sell the bronzes. I mean, this is usually a 2 bronze trophy or 1 bronze, 1 silver type of thing. And some of these players, depending on the team, you can get 1,000 coins or 1,500 coins. Buy it now on a Patriots bronze player right now in the auction house because people are trying to do the Camp Chancellor set. So enough of the auction house there. I guess let's go into this week's positional heroes and a big change. We've got an offensive tackle, and we notice that EA is listening. There are now 3 collectibles required, and it's the same type of thing that they adjusted kind of with the Ultimate Legend packs last week, where it was too difficult for the majority of players to get the Ultimate Legend or the positional heroes, so it was really driving away interest from the actual event and the player, which is a bad thing for EA. If people get too discouraged, like I have, like other people have, they're just not going to participate in the event. They're not going to spend Madden cash as much because what's the point? You know, if I'm going to get a bunch of junk anyway. So they changed the legendary pack to an ultimate legend pack that gives you a guaranteed ultimate legend item. That made those items go down in cost. And as I covered in my last video, the 98 the set versions of the ultimate legends, though, it seems like they're not as good of players. Now we're seeing this with positional heroes. So we only need 3 collectibles now, which is a good thing. Same player requirements, elite trophy requirements. But let's look at Schwartz's numbers here. Blocking numbers are good. Pass block is excellent at 98. 93 run block is solid. 93 impact block is solid. 94 unboosted strength, 92 unboosted awareness. When I see these 2 things on a player, what that tells me is that those numbers, which are the easiest 2 stats to boost in Madden Mobile, that, you know, this player isn't going to boost well, and he has good stats in some of the wrong areas. Now, maybe later on in the year, you could say guy is going to be good because he doesn't need the strength and awareness boosts, as we take booster players off our teams in favor of better overall players, which I covered in my last video, looking at Gak's team a little bit. But he's got 62 speed, 77 acceleration. This guy is slow. He's a good pass blocker, and as a pass blocker, the speed and acceleration don't matter as much. But for the run game, 62 is really, really, really slow. So some good stats in there, but not necessarily the greatest 98 offensive lineman card I've ever seen. And moving on to Harrison, and of course we know with defensive tackles that there is a lot of great defensive tackles. There's 96s with boost, there's 98s, there's a 99 with a boost. So this is a very crowded position, and it's not a high impact position as well, I would argue. And if we look at this guy, defensive tackle, speed isn't as important. They're there to clog up the middle. but the speed's not very good. Acceleration is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. 98 unboosted strength, so this guy needs no strength boosters whatsoever. If you got Gronk on your team, he's over 100. He's 99. 93 awareness, really, really high awareness. I'm not sure what the play recognition is. Everything else looks good, though. Hit power looks good. Power moves are decent, but kind of slow. And I guess for a bunch of people who don't have Wolfork or who don't have Super Bowl Mean Joe Green, then this is probably a good choice, but not a real exciting card, I guess I would say. You can see I never put the Super Bowl players in the set, so therefore now I can use these guys in the set, which is kind of cool. So I might get them at some point, but I think I would sell them. Yeah, I don't see really starting this guy or anything like that, but it is a strategy with the EA now, so now we've got these 98 players. They're trying to make them easier to get, both Ultimate Legends and Positional Heroes. They realized, I think, that they were kind of hurting interest in the game by making it so difficult to get these and then unlock these players. And then also the other side of it is people have not been making much in-game currency because selling the players is no big thing. Elite prices haven't been affected at all by the events, it seems like. Yeah, somebody decided they wanted to spend 2,000 coins for a 65 punt returner. All right. Guess they really like the guy. But at any rate, that is a little change of what they've been doing. Now, along with everything else, we still haven't seen Gauntlet, and it's a month late at this point. So I'm starting to wonder if we're going to see this event. Consoles had it, and I assume at some point we're going to get it, but it is not a for sure thing. The Easter event should be coming, and that should be really cool. I got Rod Woodson off of this event, and might as well, even though I've shown him in previous videos. There he is. That's an Easter event player. I remember they also had an Emmitt Smith, a Warren Moon card. They had a couple other 99 players too as a part of this, but if you had Woodson right now, you'd be playing him at free safety for sure. I mean, those are some great numbers. And so to give you an idea of what they did last year and this year, who knows what they're going to do for Easter. With all the boosted players this year, they might bring back another boosted type of master player type of thing, and I hope they do. That would be really cool. Last year it wasn't really like that. It was Easter eggs from live events and packs, and then the Easter eggs unlocked, kind of like the presents, the Christmas presents were this year, kind of a mystery thing that you got. I hope they don't do that. I hope they have like a master player like they did with like BCA and Thanksgiving and Most Feared and stuff like that. That would be really cool, but we will see what happens with that. And what we'll do now, we'll go ahead and check out my team. Didn't raise my overall, putting Cam on the team. So we're obviously we're gonna play Cam Chancellor at strong safety and put him on Gronk. As opposed to Atwater, you can see the stats. Atwater's got one more catch, but otherwise Chancellor's stats are better, faster, stronger, just does everything a little bit better. Also, too, we're losing the 83 base awareness on Atwater, so we're dropping off a player that's kind of an awareness problem on the team. The other one right now being Julius Peppers, that we can't take to 99 with current boosts. He's still at 98. So, a number of things we could do at this point. What I am thinking is going to be my strategy going on, is right here, right now, if I wanted the best gameplay team, I would put Atwater at dime in favor of his hit power, speed. And let's see what that does to it. It still has me at a 101 overall. So before, if I would do anybody else, before I had Cam, it would drop my defense to 102. So it's a pretty solid 102 defense right now. So I could put Atwater in. And for gameplay wise, this might be a better decision. Atwater, I think, is going to make more plays than Dawkins at the dime position with his height, speed, and hit power. But I do like Dawkins' boost still. I do like that, so I'll keep that in there. And one thing I noticed, so in league season, we might want to cover this real quick because it's kind of cool. We are in the top 200 at 198, and in league season, I have scored touchdowns, knock on wood, in every single drive that I have taken. And no fumbles, haven't thrown any picks, made any mistakes, played some good defenses. And basically, I'm starting to think that all the strength boosters that I have on my team, bringing Emmett to 99 strength, are perhaps, I can't say for sure, but perhaps they're causing him to fumble a little less. Now, I know the carry stat is really, really important for that, but I also think that strength is a factor too. And so if a linebacker with 99 strength is hitting Emmett, but he also has 99 strength, I'm just thinking that that might decrease Emmett's fumbling a little bit, which he doesn't fumble too much, but I notice he hasn't been fumbling much at all for me, knock on wood. So, missed timing, power swipes, with trucking could also lead to fumbling. But Emmett is a power back, and you should truck with him ideally, and I've got a lot of success trucking with him. So he hasn't been fumbling much, and I've been trucking a lot with Gronkowski, and his carry number is lower, obviously, than Emmett's. And he hasn't been fumbling much at all either. So I've been pretty happy with the setup. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice a little bit. But strength boosters on my team. So I've got Brady at quarterback. Got Ramon Foster costing 1 agility, which we just lost an agility booster with Atwater, but we still have +2 agility with Barry Sanders. The big strength booster, Gronk. Greco just boosts his own team. And I've got Perfect here, and I've put him at outside linebacker. And the reason I did that is because his coverage stats are better than Von Miller. And I'm just going to try him out there, even though he's slower than Von Miller, and see how he does at that outside linebacker position. See if he makes some plays out there. And what I would do, though, so I was talking about this, is if another great corner comes out, or if I decide I'm going to get Chris Harris Jr., which would probably be the choice at cornerback, I'd put Chris Harris Jr. ideally at corner 2. I would drop DRC down to the nickel, which doesn't require that physical of a player, and then probably take NTL, like I was saying in my previous videos, to dime would be the thing to do. And that's how I would do it. But anyways, with all these strength boosters, though, I'd like to leave some of them on there unless a really good player comes out at their position, because I think it does help with that. One additional thing to cover, and Big John here wanted me to review his team, so I will do so. and I will take a look. So, looking up and down the lineup, he's favoring, instead of boosters, the best overall player that he can find at that position. Norwell's a good blocker, so that's a pretty good choice. Frederick here at center. And he's running now because he just got DRC. So he also is running DRC, but he's running him at dime. And that may not be a bad position for DRC because it's basically reducing his liability because of his strength as much as possible and leaving him on the field. But I do think he's a pretty good cover corner. I don't think he's better than Harris, though. So you play him at nickel or dime. At nickel, he's got Ty Law. It's a really solid choice. Law's going to be on the field more, and he's a better tackler and a bit stronger. So pretty good choice. He's got a speed boosted team from hell now at this point. He's got +4 speed on here. And what I would say, let me make sure. Yeah, he's got Julius Peppers, so he's basically got even acceleration. With DRC taking away acceleration, he's got 1 acceleration boost. I would say that depending on what he wants to do, he might try to run Kelsey at center and get a boosted acceleration if he doesn't mind losing the strength. Let's look at these stats now. So basically, I get 2 more acceleration, he gets 2 more speed. He is running, instead of a booster at fullback, he is running a fullback in Lorenzo Neal, and this is a good one. The guy can block like crazy. Good catch number, so good choice. He could think about a booster there. I know he was running Dry Archer there for a while. And let me see this setup. So he's got OBJ at wide receiver 1. And it really, when building a team, it's hard to really criticize because the great thing about it is you build the team for how you play and you play to your team's strengths. And that's just the way you do it. It's kind of personalizing the whole thing. I do think in this case, though, I would rather have, out of the wide receivers that he has, I would rather have Rice as my wide receiver 1. Simply because he's stronger and he's bigger, so he's a little bit more versatile in some ways than OBJ. OBJ, short guy, not a good big target type of receiver. Depends on how you want to use him. OBJ obviously is going to absolutely be great on screen passes and things like that if you do that to wide receiver 1, but for myself, I would run Rice there, but that's just how I play, I think. And then he's still got the speed booster over here. And he's got Watkins in the slot. And again, this is a thing I throw to the slot a bit, probably more than wide receiver 2. So I would rather switch that up and put Rice at least in the slot over Watkins. But that's all on how he calls his plays and who he likes to throw to, I guess. But other than that, let's look at the defense again. Unless you really like Lawrence Taylor, he's great for overall, but I don't really know about his gameplay all that much. Everything else looks pretty good here. Deacon's a good defensive end. He's a monster in all Madden settings. He's definitely a monster and a factor in those settings. Julius Peppers plays above a 94 card. It's got a great boost, so we both still use him. Both got strength boosters at the second defensive tackle. His power moves are better. Sue's a good card. That is a very good card. Now it's a little bit more reasonable in price. It's A lot more viable. Still running Ed Reed at free safety. At some point, Reed is going to have to go away. But I haven't seen the free safety to really, really replace him with as yet. Bird's pretty good, so he'd be one choice, but not good enough to spend the coins on yet, in my opinion. Obviously, work on the Cam Chancellor set, I would say. Other than that, I think the team looks pretty darn good. I like his secondary setup better than mine. The double speed boost is nice too. It makes a big, big difference in all Madden. I've noticed the team speed is really, really apparent when I'm playing faster teams, even with lower overalls. It's really a problem for me. It's really, really a problem. So that is basically it. And you're catching my speech there to my guys playing a league-to-league game. But that is my long video for the day. And if there's any questions, you want to see anything else, let me know. Shout out to Papa Raider, Aiden Sapphire, and Ryan. They are in my YouTube subscriptions as well. Thanks for watching.